I just want to say that what we're watching is appalling. The footage of the King of Jordan pretending he's a special forces commander, pushing food aid out of the back of a C-130 transport plane into the sea, and having thousands of Palestinians along the shoreline, mostly children, wading into the sea to get this food aid, as if this is some far off place that nobody can get to. But we know that the Israelis can get to the border and have demonstrations that block these trucks. And these countries, it was Jordan just doing these airlifts, these airdrops. But now I noticed yesterday's airdrop, a bunch of other countries have tried to get in on this, as if these airdrops are somehow showing their decency, when really they're just an appalling scene. I can't believe we're watching. So yeah, the Battle of Zeitoun, Israel reinvaded Gaza City last week, and you never know when a fight gets to have the moniker of being called a battle that will stay through time. But it seems to be this battle in Zeitoun is going to be one of the battles in the war that sticks around. Israel's attempting to build effectively a highway, cutting off the southern Gaza Strip from the north, cutting off Gaza City. And in order to do that, they've been battling in Zeitoun for the last 10 days. So maybe we'll start with a sniper operation that the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Brigades carried out, number 1 here tomorrow. This is the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Brigades. This is their 34th Al-Ghul operation. And we're watching a sniper here setting up, looking at Israeli snipers. So it's snipers on snipers here. And you can see that the loopholes that the Israelis have knocked out of that building there. And we can juxtapose that with the Palestinian ones. And here we're seeing a thermal camera. And if you look at the building, you can see the loopholes are knocked in both sides of the floor, which just makes them very easy to see. And of course, the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Brigade sniper unit is on top of them. We're seeing a thermal camera here that shows that there's troops inside that building. This week, the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Brigade said that they have filed throughout the war 30 field reports of sniper attacks, of 57 different attacks. So 57 attacks in 30 field reports, demonstrating something that the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Brigades have said, which is that after these sniper operations, their snipers leave the scene and move on to a different location and report back at the end. So you can see the thermal camera showing that there's Israeli forces inside those loopholes that they've knocked outside of the buildings. And of course, these Israeli snipers have wreaked havoc on the civilians in Gaza. They've made it the streets of Gaza a killing field. And so you see sniper on sniper here, and a Qassam sniper taking out an Israeli sniper. The next day after this, the day actually before this video, within the hours before this video was launched, the Israelis claimed casualties in the north. And almost surely we're looking at one of those there, because we can see that there's soldiers in behind those loopholes that we can see on this thermal imaging here. And so the Israelis did, although they cover up their casualties, they did report on this. And maybe we can show after this runs through tomorrow. I can show, I cut a clip for people because about whether the wall, the cinder block wall, does anything against this 50 cal anti-materiel rifle that the Al-Ghul is. And we can see from this footage from a shooting range that it clears, it goes, the round, the Al-Ghul round goes clean through these cinder block walls, blowing the back of the wall out. This weapon, the Al-Ghul, is used, it's an anti-materiel rifle. It's used against hardware positions. And here's another example that shows that even 2 cinder blocks don't make any difference. So the power of this rifle is a significant part of its asset. It's also a more precise rifle as well. But it's used, I mean, American troops in Iraq used rifles like this against unexploded ordnance to detonate bombs. Their first use in military was used against armored vehicles in the First and Second World War. So it's a significant weapon, and the wall provides no concealment. So maybe we can go to the second one after this shows that clearly that's a clay, a hunk of clay that was set behind the wall. Here, maybe we can go to number 2, Tamara. This is 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐄𝐥𝐜. This is Islamic Jihad using a similar rifle. And you can see them going up the stairs, the fighters, and you can see they see the window and they act accordingly, moving around the window. And we've seen from previous 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐄𝐥𝐜 Islamic Jihad videos and 𝐬𝐿 videos as well, that the fighters are moving through the city, moving through holes in walls, moving through tunnels. And you see the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐄𝐥𝐜 sniper here calibrating his, getting his range. That's on the card. He's got angles, distance, wind, things to incorporate when you're carrying out a sniper operation over a long distance. And again, we can see in this video, we've edited out the end of the video, but the soldiers drop in that video as well, clearly being hit. And so this is 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐄𝐥𝐜. They have the capabilities that we're seeing in this week's videos are something that we've talked about for weeks. And again, just to say, all the videos that we're going to watch today are all from the past week. These are all happening in Khan Yunis or in Gaza City, where the main focus of the battle is. But that's where the ground war is taking place. We know that every single day, the air war continues on the population of Gaza. Israel is still killing 100 people a day in airstrikes in safe areas, killing civilians in their homes. But in terms of the ground battle, it's been focused on Khan Yunis and Zeitoun in Gaza City. So maybe we can switch to number 3 here, Tamara, because the way the anti-materiel rifle works and the distance that it covers, more than 2 kilometers, we can see here in this Qassam video from Zeitoun, they're showing us here the reconnaissance that the fighters have of the medevac helicopters, also something that we've been following throughout the war. We don't have confirmation on this, but it seems very clear now, 144 days on, that the Palestinian resistance is not targeting these medevacs. And maybe we could do the next one after this one rolls tomorrow, because there's 2 shots that the Qassam brigades showed this week of monitoring helicopters that are well within range of the Al Ghul, especially in terms of because you don't to penetrate a helicopter. You don't need the round to be significant. So the distance that the weapon is effective can be up to 2.5 kilometers, which we're seeing is within range. So this is Qassam showing medevac flights. Israel says that the Israeli Air Force this week said that they've carried out 500 of these medevacs. You can see the helicopter landing there. That's smoke that the Israeli forces put up as concealment so that the fighters can't do what we're watching right now, namely watch them. But we're also seeing in that footage there civilian ambulances. So Israel feels confident that their medevacs are not being targeted, because you can see there in that footage, that's not a and there you can see the smoke screen to try to conceal their position. But it appears, and again, there was a field report yesterday from the Qassam brigades saying that they were watching these helicopters. So that footage really gives you a sense of how close they are. The Gaza Strip's only 6 kilometers wide at this stage.
And if the shoe were on the other foot, John, if this were Israeli forces watching Palestinian Red Crescent workers trying to evacuate, let's not say Qassam fighters, let's say a child named Hind, for example, what do you think the Israeli forces would have done in that situation? Do we need to speculate about that?
No, I mean, we've seen brutal cases of medics being targeted, directly being targeted. The case you were talking about was a 6-year-old girl who phoned Palestinian Red Crescent paramedics and asked them to come and save her over the course of several hours. And the next day, and they did, which they always do. The Red Crescent paramedics, I'll just say they're the best among us. They're incredible people. And they went to Hind's to the massacre where her entire family was killed in front of her eyes and left in the car with her. And the Israelis killed them in the ambulance. And when people went the next day to find Hind, they found the paramedics and their ambulance destroyed as well. And what it looks to be Again, we haven't talked to the fighters, so we don't have confirmation, but it appears that the Palestinians are not targeting these medevac air flights. And the Israelis said they've carried out more than 500 of these medevac flights. And although if you remember back in November, about 10 days into the ground operation, the Israelis said that they had carried out 250 medevacs. So we know that those numbers aren't true, but we're talking about hundreds of helicopter flights that the resistance is clearly has chosen to not targeting soldiers. And again,
thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.